Our first Remembrance healer Hyacine and her Memo Sprite Ika will be here pretty soon, and a lot of casters and blade mains have been talking about her viability for a while, ever since her kit leaks. So let's get into everything revolving around Hyacine's best Lightcones, Relics, Teamcomps, and Eidolon Value. Firstly, and most importantly, her signature. It's where the HP drain is locked to, unfortunately. For you blade mains, there's no HP drain in her kit, but regardless, for Hyacine, this is her best in slot by far. It has speed, extra damage, and buffs all in one. Other than that, the Herda Shop Lightcone is pretty decent, providing speed, which Hyacine wants a lot of, and a team-wide buff. This will be her best in slot free-to-play weapon. If you know this Lightcone, farm for it, just do your weeklies, but in the meantime, you can use any of the 4 stars because they're significantly worse and it doesn't matter. Seriously, farm the Herda Shop Lightcone if you're not pulling for her signature. But moving on to Relics, so they will be adding 2 new sets in the next version update, with Warrior Goddess being the best for her. It provides speed, buffs when she heals allies, it's tailor-made for her. Now since you can't pre-farm this set, I'd say a solid placeholder while you do farm can be Messenger. Most people should already have a decent set of this since it's great on many characters. And you could also go 2-piece speed. Planner ornaments should be Giant Tree, providing speed and healing bonus, again tailor-made for Hyacine. I don't really suggest anything else. The ideal main stats for Hyacine will be healing bonus on the body, speed on the boots, HP percent on the orb, and energy regen rate on the rope. Now that being said, a lot of people are talking about the viability of putting her on a crit damage body, and honestly it's pretty good. If her healing is enough for whatever you're putting her against, then go crit damage for her personal DPS, because it is very strong, and she's guaranteed to crit because of her A6 passive. Now, the substat goals and priorities for Hyacine should be first 200 speed minimum to activate that A1 passive, then HP percent because that's where her healing scales off of, and lastly crit damage since, like I said, she's guaranteed to crit, and her personal damage is actually significant for a sustain. After speed, it just becomes balancing these last 2 stats. Now, let's talk about her team comps. So as a healer sustain, she can be used literally anywhere, in any comp you want, but we'll talk about the comps where she shines the most. So comps revolving around HP scalers will be best, like Caceres, Blade, and less so Maide. She's best in slot for Caceres, and only really useful for Blade with her signature, of course. And then for Maide, she is a downgrade over Luocha. His single target healing is just better. However, the most notable team comp she thrives in is Caceres Hypercarry with Harmony MC and Tribi, because the synergy between Hyacine and Tribi is just insane. I will also add that Acheron can also be supported by her, only with her signature, because she does also build stacks. And for you Blade mains, Hyacine with her signature, Tribi, and Jade will farm stacks like crazy. Finally, we're on to Eidolon Value. E1, when Hyacine ults, she increases allies' max HP by 80% plus 600 instead of only 30%, and restores a little HP after every attack just like Luocha. Really solid upgrade for HP scaling DPSs, about a 15 to 20% DPS increase for an HP scaling team. Of course, it loses a lot of value if you're not using her with HP scalers. E2, when an ally's HP decreases, they gain 30% speed for 2 turns, which is permanent because if you have Hyacine's signature, or everyone gets hit at least once every 2 turns, then they will maintain that 30% speed buff. Especially good with Caceres since her technique drains everyone immediately, boosting everyone at the start of the fight. Plus, you don't need to build as much speed on Hyacine and her allies, allowing for more damage substats. It's hard to gauge a percent increase, but around a 10 to 20% team DPS increase over her E1. It's very good. Next up, E4. So her A1 trace also gives Hyacine and Ika 2% crit damage per 1 speed over 200. So it's a personal damage increase and a pretty solid E4 in comparison to others. It's around a 5% DPS increase over E3. It's nothing crazy, just a nice personal damage upgrade. E6 is a 20% res pen to all allies, classic. And when Ika skills, she changes the amount of healing tally cleared to 12%, meaning instead of clearing 50% of the tally every skill, she only clears 12%, allowing the tally to build a ton and increase her personal damage substantially. This E6 is around a 30% team DPS increase. It's, of course, broken as usual. But that's everything for Hyacine. You know, finally, as a Blade enjoyer, I can get a solid healer and extra stack builder. Unfortunately, I do need her Lightcone, but is what it is. I need Blade Puffs to be good, please.